Welcome to the Packer Mentality Podcast. My name is Patrick Corrigan, and I'm your host. And this is a gut reaction video to the Packers Commanders game from Sunday afternoon. It's a little bit later, about an hour after the game, and my immediate reaction, after everything is over and after everything is said and done, is that I don't think this organization, this team, can make enough improvements over what has been put on the field so far to make the playoffs. They are not competitive. Offensively, this is a bad group. Uh, shouldn't be, but it is. Matt LaFleur is supposed to be an offensive guru. I'm not seeing it. Aaron Rodgers, back-to-back MVP seasons, definitely going to be in the Hall of Fame. That guy is not on the field. Now, whether you want to blame his thumb or a new group of wide receivers, still doesn't excuse him throwing balls at the feet of his wide receivers. You can't do that. His footwork is terrible on those throws, even when he's got a clean pocket. And speaking of clean pockets, the one good thing I saw on offense, at least in part, was they did make the changes to the offensive line. Had a little bit of a wrench thrown into plans, I'm sure, because David Bakhtiari couldn't play today, but they did shuffle everybody else. The only guy playing in the same position was Myers at center. Everybody else, pretty much everybody else, was moved around. And they did a pretty good job, I thought. They did not allow any sacks. I saw some pretty clean pockets, a bunch of the plays, but they couldn't run the ball. 12 carries, seemed like more than that, but only 12 carries for 38 yards. That's not good enough. Not good enough. Not going to win you any games. And the passing game was just awful for most of the game. Some easy completions and yardage at the end of the game. Otherwise, this would be a game that would, you'd look at the stat line and be like, what in the world was going on? Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball at feet of wide receivers, it's not good enough. I thought after the first half, he's grabbing his thumb and he's throwing balls that are uncatchable. We did have a bunch of drop passes, so that didn't help either on when he was able to throw a catchable ball. But it just looked terrible, couldn't do anything. And if it was anybody else on the field, any other team would have benched their quarterback at this point. They would have benched their quarterback either coming out of halftime or shortly thereafter in the third quarter. Defensively, still can't stop the run. And I've been on this for weeks and weeks, and it's still a problem. Gave up 166 yards, 4.4 yards per carry. That's not gonna do it. You cannot win football games when the other team can just grind it out and run you down. So special teams did have another, not a blocked punt, but we did muff a punt and lost it. So not a good sign there. But that's an individual physical error and not a mental error. So that is something that can be improved. Otherwise, this team, it's not good enough to make the playoffs. We're 7 games in, and I'm not seeing enough improvement from the skill positions. I'm not seeing any improvement from stopping the run, and it's been week after week after week. So not very optimistic that this team can turn this around. Not the way they're playing, and not with the plan they currently have. So I will take a look at the film when it comes out and give you a little bit more in-depth coming out Monday night, Tuesday morning. and we'll work from there. And hopefully we can find some good things, some things that this team can build on, and hopefully get this thing turned around. But gut reaction is that this is not a team that is capable of doing that. And that raises a lot of questions for the coaching staff, the front office, and these players have to look at themselves in the mirror and figure out, you know, what kind of player they are, what kind of men they are, because this is kind of an insult to, guys that were supposed to be, all pro, or we had high hopes that a lot of these guys were going to be very good players this year. So look in the mirror, guys. Anyway, I will, like I said, take a look at the film, get back to you guys on Tuesday with a video going over everything, and we'll work from there. In the meantime, have a great rest of your weekend, and go Pack Go.